Happy fucking Pride Month. I am so gay and I'm so happy and proud of it. Hi guys, if you don't know me, my name is Kate Austin and I am gay. If you're watching this video, you're probably coming out of the closet or thinking about coming out of the closet, or are in the closet and not even thinking about coming out because you have unaccepting parents. And the one thing that I want to talk about in this video is the fact that I also have unaccepting parents. However, I'm very out of the closet and very proud of my sexuality, and it wasn't always this way. However, I want to tell you today that it's gonna get better, and eventually you'll be at a point in your life where you learn that not everyone is gonna accept and love you for who you are, and you have to make up for those people and love yourself even harder. So this video is probably gonna be all over the place because I didn't really write down my thoughts, and I've dealt with a lot, so I have a lot of thoughts and feelings involving this topic. I'll link my coming out video if you haven't seen it yet. It really describes like how unaccepting my parents are. I'll link it down low. But if you've watched that, you know that I came out of the closet, I got kicked out of my house. That's like the short version of it. Like I said, I'll link it. You can actually click it right here. I'll put it right here. Go ahead and click my coming out story if you want to catch up to where I am right now. So 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago now, I came out of the closet. And when I came out, like I said, I got kicked out of my house by my parents. My parents are both very religious. They're very active church members. It was definitely rough and hard, and at the moment it happened, I honestly had never felt so alone and scared. When the two people who are supposed to love you no matter what stop loving you, it almost feels hopeless. You know, you kind of resent yourself for the part of you that makes them not accept you, which for me was being gay. And you know, you sit there and you're like, why me? Why I didn't choose this? Like, and they don't understand that. My number one piece of advice for coming out and knowing that your parents aren't gonna accept you is to surround yourself with people that will. So I came out to all my friends before I even considered coming out to my parents, and I was surrounded with the greatest people in the entire world, and they literally were my legs to stand on. You know, still today when my parents don't accept me, I'm surrounded by the greatest friends and family that I've made, family that I've chosen. I would not be who and where I am today without them making me the strong person I am. Moving forward, to deal with your unaccepting parents, I think one thing that everybody needs to remember is that, not that this is fair, but our parents have an idea of what our lives are gonna be like from the day they find out they're pregnant with us, or the day they find out what we are. So like, my mom knew she was gonna have a girl. My mom had 5 boys and then me. So my mom, you know, went through all these boys, and then I was like, finally a girl, I'm gonna dress her up in tiaras and tutus, and she's gonna get married to a man, and it's gonna be a beautiful wedding, and she, you know, I was her baby girl, and I knew that it was gonna be hard for her to accept that I wasn't what she wanted me to be. However, I'm very girly, wore the tutus, wore the tiaras, still think I'm a fucking princess, still am a fucking princess. I just date another princess, you know what I mean? That's the only difference. But I'm going off on a tangent. However, back to the story. So I think we need to remember that our parents have always pictured our lives to be a certain way, and I think especially closed-minded parents, like my religious parents or whatever, your old school parents, you have to remember that it's just as long as it took for you to accept who you are, sexuality-wise, your parents have to come to terms with it too. That's definitely something to continuously remind yourself. Give them time when you come out to kind of process it. I'm not saying in a week they're gonna be like, oh, just kidding, we accept you, we get it now. But, you know, be patient with them, because you had to be patient with yourself until the point that you decided to come out. It took me 20 years to come out, so I can't even I'm gonna be patient with my parents as much as necessary, or as much as is fair to me and my, you know, my life. So my next piece of advice would be, don't let them find out before you tell them. My parents found out from somebody else, and I think that hurt my mom the most, that I didn't straight up tell her myself, and I was too scared to tell her, and I denied it to her multiple times when she had given me the opportunity to tell her. I don't think that she would have accepted it regardless. I think it would have been a less dramatic outcome. I think figuring out what the best way for you yourself to come out is important, whether it's in a letter, through text, through call, on a cake. I've seen it all. Whatever way you feel is best for you to come out, do it, but do it so that it's from your heart and from you, because your parents love you and they don't want to hear it from anybody else. You know what I mean? I think that's very important. Another thing of dealing with unaccepting parents that I tell a lot of people is constantly remind yourself that no matter who is telling you that this part of you is wrong and it's a choice and it's a phase, don't ever let anybody tell you who you are. You know who you are in your heart and in your mind and in your soul, and nobody else knows you like you know you. So don't let these people from the outside of you tell you anything about who you are, because they might think they know who you are, but they don't. We can hide these parts of ourselves for years without people knowing. And it's not for them to decide that the person they thought you were is who you are. No matter who tells you it's wrong, it's gross, blah, blah, constantly tell yourself that you are perfect who you are. And it took me so long to learn that. It took me so long to be comfortable with who I am and love who I am. And I can honestly tell you, loving who I am is so much easier than hating who I am. I spent so much time like resenting myself. One day I just decided, fuck that. I want to love myself. It's a choice. Every day, it's not easy. There are days I wake up and I'm like, ugh. Then you follow that up with something positive. The next piece of advice would be to not hide who you are. So like when I lived with my parents kicked me out and then I moved back in about a month later. My mom would make a lot of remarks and she would be rude. And I would never fight them back negatively. I would stand up for myself in a mature way. Since she was coming at me immaturely, I would be the mature one and I would always be loving because I wanted her to know that I'm still being the bigger person. This part of me that she thinks instantly changed who I was and it changed how she looked at me, it didn't really change who I am. It in fact made me a better person by accepting it. So whenever she would come at me negatively, I would just be completely positive and be like, you know what? Good one. Like, that's funny. You're gonna have to live with yourself saying that to me. I don't know if I'm making sense. Continuing with that, my dad's side accepts Sarah and I very much. And so if they were over and like we're like, well, what are you doing this weekend? And it was when we were long distance and I would say I was going to visit Sarah, I would be very open and honest about it. I'd be like, I'm going, if my mom was in the room, I don't care. I'd be like, I'm going to visit Sarah. I wanted my mom to get used to hearing her name and get used to hearing me talk about it because I'm not gonna hide who I am, even if she wants me to. And I think when we do come out to our parents and they don't accept it and we like keep it back and hidden from them, it makes them think it's okay for us to be like that and that it's normal for us to be like that. And that's not fair. So making your child suppress who they are is so fucked up. Sorry for my language, it's messed up. So I think it's very, very important to stand by who you are in a mature way. So I'm not rubbing it in my mom's face. I'm not like, ooh, look at me and Sarah kissing. I'm like, I'm gonna go visit my girlfriend this weekend, and when she would say something rude about it, I'd be like, I'll see you in a week. You know what I mean? Like, make it so that you're not being immature about it, but also that you're not gonna hide who you are. That's like the number one thing that I think is so important. It's making sure that you're owning who you are in a way that shows them that there's nothing wrong with it. I think another thing how to deal with unaccepting parents is my mom was so worried about what people around us were gonna think. And I remember she told me I was going to a wedding and a bunch of people she knew the moms were going to be there, and she was like, you're all going to talk crap about you and blah blah. And they all pulled me aside and told me how happy they were for me and how they've never seen me so happy. And I went home and I was like, you know, Mom, they said this and this and blah blah blah. And she's like, well, they were just saying that. And I was like, you know what, they weren't, and they were very heartfelt about it, but if that's how you want to look at it like that. And I would tell her these positive stories so that she knew that there was nothing to worry about, you know, from anybody else's perspective. So obviously when I was living under my mom's roof, it was very hard because it was very tense. However, I moved in with my girlfriend almost a year ago, and our relationship is much better because she has to miss me because I'm not there. So she calls me and texts me. And now she even, if I'm coming home to visit, she'll be like, are you coming alone or is Sarah coming with you? And like, you might think it's so like ridiculous, but like the fact that she even recognizes Sarah as a person and says her name is a huge deal. It seems so small and minuscule, but you have to celebrate the little victories. So the fact that my mom knows that, hey, this is my girlfriend and she's gonna be a part of my life and come home with me, and recognizes that is huge. She used to like make gagging noises and wouldn't say her name when we like over the last like 2 years. So it's just like a very big deal. It gets better. And that's like the number one thing I want to tell you guys is it gets better and it gets easier and you learn how to deal with it and you learn how to live with your unaccepting parents and you learn how to work with them. Give them time. Sarah's mom took almost 7 years to accept Sarah, and now she's the greatest girlfriend's mom I could have ever asked for. We go there and we hang out with her family, and her whole family is awesome with us. Give them time, be patient, but also don't let them disrespect you and don't feel like you have to hide who you are. Always own it, always be open and be out about who you are. And it's hard for me. I get a lot of messages from people saying that their parents don't accept them. Obviously, that's why I'm making this video, but I know what it feels like in that moment, and I know it feels like there's no hope and future and there's nothing that's gonna get better in this situation, and it breaks my heart. Every day I get these messages, and I just want to tell you that you're loved. You are loved, you are important, you are perfect how you are. You are made this way for a reason. No one else in the entire world is like you. You are perfect how you are. You are wonderful, you're important. I just don't ever want any of you to feel like you're not good enough because of your sexuality or whatever else, your relationship or whatever else it is in this world that's making you feel like you're not good enough. Unaccepting parents is hard to deal with, but you can get through it. Just every day choose to look for the silver linings. like your mom saying your girlfriend's name. Look for the little things. Keep a positive attitude. Even when it's the hardest day, that's when you need to try even more hard to be happy and positive. And surround yourself with good people, and it gets better. Every day, every minute, it's gonna get better. I promise. Even when it doesn't seem like it, in a year down the road, you'll look back and be like, holy shit, it was so much worse then, and it's getting so much better now, okay? Give yourselves time. I love you all. I'm so thankful for you all. If it wasn't for you guys, I would not feel as okay with myself as I do. Thank you for watching. I hope this made sense. I hope it helped somebody. And if it didn't, sorry, I tried. But I love you all, and be kind to one another, and be happy and positive, and choose every day to smile. And yeah, be nice to yourselves too. I love you guys. See you in my next video. Happy Pride, oh wait, Happy Pride Month. That's the whole reason I'm recording this video, is because it's Pride Month, and I want you all to be proud of who you are, no matter who's not proud of who you are. That made sense in my head. Be proud of who you are. You are perfect, you are wonderful, you are beautiful. Everything about you is beautiful, and I love you all, and happy fucking Pride Month. I am so gay, and I'm so happy and proud of it, and this is my favorite month of the year. So happy Pride Month. I love you guys.